In this video, you'll find out how BoosterBot works, how it analyzes charts, and most importantly, how you can make money with this bot. It's not a complicated topic, so in this video you'll get all the answers to your questions. And by the way, after this video, you'll be able to activate this bot and start earning with it. So, let's get into the video. First, let's take a look at what BoosterBot is actually capable of. I choose the Euro to US dollar currency pair. I select a 1-minute trade time, set the amount, and now, without doing any analysis, I switch over to the bot. Activating it with the start command, I now select the Euro to US dollar currency pair and choose the same trade time as I did on the platform. Now I wait for the signal, and I get a sell signal. Alright, right from here, I open my sell trade. Since we have a good downward movement here, that means our trade will most likely be profitable. And during this time, we could reach about this level, maybe even lower. So, the price should reach roughly this point. Let's just quietly watch this trade. Next, I'll show you how this robot sees the chart, how it's set up, and how you can start making money with it. But for now, I'm just watching. An excellent first trade brings me 920 bucks. And let's take a look at how this robot works. The very first thing you need to understand is that our team worked for a long time to integrate news background analysis into it. What does that mean? For example, let's say news events happening in the US or Europe that aren't financial. Right. We'll get back to financial news too. They're included here as well. But, for instance, some news comes out. So, we have subscriptions to several sites, Bloomberg and a few other news outlets. If we see that the news is going to affect the market somehow, like, for example, some transport delays or tariff increases, then, say, on the Euro to US dollar currency pair, we'll see a drop because the Euro is weakening and the dollar is strengthening. And so, for example, we're expecting a good downward movement. This is something to take into account in your analysis. In other words, you'll be making an adjustment. It's not like 100% of the time, say, any news, whether it's about medicine, military technology, or the financial sector, will have the same effect. No, it's a general factor that just tips the balance one way or the other. So, for example, some news might give a 20% adjustment to your whole analysis, while other news might only give a 5% adjustment. There are news events that, yes, might give, say, a 50% adjustment, but only for certain currency pairs, for example, those related to the dollar. Accordingly, for those, the adjustment could be up to 50 or even 70%. These could be situations where, for instance, all financial markets are crashing, and at that point, there aren't really any financial news items anymore. But since the overall market is falling, BoosterBot will take that into account as well. The second thing it analyzes, of course, is our financial news. By the way, if you don't know how to analyze these financial news items, then make sure to subscribe to our Telegram channel. That's where we share detailed guides and news on how to profit from them. If you didn't know what financial news is, here are a few examples, as well as the results from our guys who made money on this very news. If you want to earn money too, then follow the link in the description and join our Telegram channel. I'll leave the links in the description. Now, let's move on. The next thing that happens is indicator analysis. Let's even open a trade, and I'll show you everything with an example. For example, I choose the US dollar to Japanese yen currency pair. So, I go to BoosterBot, select this currency pair, and set the trade time to 1 minute. And I get a buy signal. Right from here, I open a buy trade. How does indicator analysis work? After BoosterBot checks financial and world news, it makes adjustments based on them. Then it moves on to analyzing 94 indicators. Just so you understand, if we add all the indicators to the chart, we won't even see the chart anymore. It'll just be covered with indicators. So, we need to clean up the chart just to be able to see the price. A person, on the other hand, can't analyze more than 3 or 5 indicators at once. But since BoosterBot is a machine with extremely powerful computing capabilities, it has no trouble analyzing as many as 94 indicators at the same time. And, accordingly, it also looks at its own percentages there. Some indicators are more useful, while others contribute just 1 or 2%. So, how does it work? For example, sometimes certain news events can account for up to 50%. So, we see that this is a very strong factor. But if, for instance, there isn't much news, then news might only make up 5%. Then, financial news might be just 2%. So, when the market is calm, the indicators that dominate can account for anywhere from 50 to 80%. Accordingly, we understand that everything is coming together to signal whether we should open a buy or sell trade. And so, if BoosterBot sees that there is very little news, it will switch over to our indicators. Accordingly, it analyzes all 94 indicators and determines, for example, that the price will go up in the next minute, just like it did here, and we make a profit. If we ask it for a 3-minute forecast, it will use completely different settings and completely different candles for its analysis, and accordingly, it will make decisions differently as well. Just take a look. There are 4 indicators on the chart right now, and it's already hard for us to see the chart. If we add one more indicator, that's it. At this point, we can't analyze anything anymore. But BoosterBot sees all of this and combines it into a single number, and only then does it give us a signal. But actually, that's not all. Let's look at another example and move on to the most interesting part. How does it see the chart? For example, now I'm choosing the currency pair Australian dollar and Swiss franc. I go to BoosterBot, select this currency pair, and set the trade time to 1 minute. Now let's see how BoosterBot analyzes. I get a sell signal. I open a sell trade right from here. And what can we see here? Yes, besides indicators, BoosterBot can also analyze using technical analysis and the SMART concept. So here we can see that we have a pretty strong level both below and above. Accordingly, this is a kind of sideways movement. Okay, that's factor number 1. If we use classic technical analysis. Above, we also have this kind of liquidity shelf. If we look at it from the smart money perspective, the price can make a very strong impulse in just 1 minute. So, there are actually 2 options. The first is that it bounces off this level. The second option is that it makes this kind of impulsive move, breaks through the entire boundary, and then moves sharply downward. Let's watch this trade, especially since it's also opened in line with the downtrend. So, this is quite a good trade here. Yeah, the volatility here is pretty low. I should have chosen, of course, a 3-minute trade or preferably a 5-minute trade. Yeah, unfortunately, because of the volatility, this trade just closed at break even. So I didn't lose anything and didn't make anything either. Alright, not the best example with the trade duration. I miscalculated a bit. I should have chosen, like I said, 3 minutes, but I'll fix that now. For the next currency pair, I'm picking the British pound and Japanese yen. The payout here is small, but the volatility is pretty good. So, this is much more appealing to me than the previous trade. I'm getting a buy signal and opening a buy trade right from here. Let's break it down from the perspective of simple technical analysis. We have a strong upward movement going on. I hope everyone can see that. In other words, the price is really going up. So, what happened next? The price got a very strong correction here from the upper boundary of our upward movement. So, after this correction, it went higher but couldn't break through this level, then made another correction, bounced off the lower boundary, and now it's ready to move up again for a buy. Again, you can actually make money even with this kind of analysis. And by the way, this is actually a really good tip for beginners. Use BoosterBot as a learning tool, like a personal mentor. You can use it to do analysis, meaning BoosterBot. Even if you're a beginner, you'll be able to make profits in 70 to 80% of cases. If you already have experience, then almost 90% of your trades will close in profit. Of course, there are moments, like in the last trade, I miscalculated the timing a bit. It should have been open for 3 minutes. But even with just 1 minute, BoosterBot managed to handle the task. By the way, right now you can grab it using the link in the description. This bot is available to all our subscribers, so subscribe to this channel and, accordingly, activate the bot using the link in the description. It's available to everyone. Instructions on how to activate it and a complete guide will be waiting for you inside after you send the start command. Activation literally takes just 10 minutes of your time. Now you know how it works. This is truly a great tool for both beginners and experienced traders alike. If you're just starting out in trading, then I recommend learning alongside this bot and watching where the price is going. Up or down? Why is it moving that way? Was there a level here? Was there a touch here? In other words, you can actually find a lot of factors specifically for this trade. So, for example, we can see that there was a level here and another level here. Accordingly, the price first touched this boundary, then bounced off this level, and then off that level. So, we have a level above as well. And in this way, you'll gradually learn how to analyze the chart. It's not that hard, especially since BoosterBot saves you from all the news. It's a very easy way to make money on them. Again, if you want to make money on the news, then be sure to follow the link in the description and join our Telegram channel. That's exactly where you'll find all the manuals and guides on how to make money from news events. So with BoosterBot, you can be confident that you'll be able to earn with it. And you can try it out yourself by following the link in the description. So go ahead and activate this bot. With that, I'll say goodbye to you. Be sure to like and comment on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. See you soon.